That's not a bass guitar, it's my washing machine. Should probably get that fixed. Yeah, it speeds up. We're on the first track. This is Spaz, and their song called Loach. I don't know. This is the Cry Now, Cry Later, Volumes 1 and 2. From Pessimer Records. Alright, that was track 1. We're on track 2. This is a band called 13, and their song Writhe. Again, Cry Now, Cry Later from Pessimer Records, Volumes 1 and 2. So, found this a long time ago, probably from Kurt at Sound Exchange. And, yeah, a long time ago. I just saw that and was like, oh, look at those crazy band names. I recognize a few of them. I recognize Crisis. That was a pretty good band. Eyehategod. Yeah, that's another one. Obviously, they're from Louisiana. Why the fuck wouldn't I know that? Despise You. There's a few of them in here. Meatsh. Oh, yeah, I said I was going to bring this out, didn't I? Grief, Capitalist Casualties. Oh, can't show you that picture. And then we got, I'll cover up the naughty bits. There's naughty bits in there. Yeah, there's some sick stuff in here. And there's their Pessimer logo, which is a little pin-up girl. I kind of don't want to show you everything because there's naughty bits. But, lack of interest, that's a hilarious one. Lack of interest was memeing back then. You know what I mean? Memeing. Oh, Dystopia, if you haven't heard of them. That's pretty crazy, I don't even know what you call that. It's far beyond hardcore at this point. Despise You, and then, oh my god, more naughty bits. Stapled Shut, yeah, just look at that one. And then they did that Slayer's slit wrist thing. How cool, man. I just want to mess with the AI and the algorithms and just listen to this weird stuff and say weird shit. Yeah, Crisis, that's a band on here that I knew. I saw them with Voivod. Crisis and Voivod. Yep, that was a show. It was supposed to be a Merciful Fate or King Diamond show. Probably Merciful Fate. And they canceled. But the other bands who were going to play decided to play anyways. So I was glad they did because I got to see Crisis and Voivod. And I also got to see the mighty Propane. If nobody's ever heard of Propane, look that shit up. Propane will blow your fucking mind, y'all. I mentioned that in the earlier video. Justin did that. What's heavier than Pantera? Propane! He only did that joke once. And I laughed. Because I saw Propane. But I also saw him with Crisis and Voivod. So that was fucking cool. So I grabbed this because I have Crisis. I knew who they were. That was from an album I didn't own of theirs. I got like 2 other Crisis albums. I don't have the first one though. Eyehategod. Oh yeah, dude. If you've never heard Eyehategod, like I hate God, one word. If you've never heard that, stay tuned because they're probably gonna play it here in a minute. I've seen bands that sounded like this. They kind of sound like they're trying to be Lamb of God, but with it. But this is before Lamb of God. This is like track 3 now? Fish sticks. Suck City? I don't know. It's like a buzzsaw. That was it. That was the song. Another song. I have no idea what this is, but we're up here somewhere. We're not to Crisis or Eyehategod yet. Kind of sounds like Dead Kennedys there for a second. So you've been to school for a year or two, and you know you've seen it all. And Daddy's car thinking you'll go far back east to type, don't crawl. Didn't know I could do that, did you? That's good. That's crazy. These guys are like playing their hearts out, man. Those are all downstrokes too, aren't they? Except for that part, then the tremolos. Downstrokes, but it does tremolo. I wonder what this band was like live. What track is this? This is track 6. Stapled shut. Yeah. Track 6, stapled shut. That shit is, yeah. In there? No. Lost Thought. Man, that's a fucking killer song, dude. Stapled shut. Damn, that was good. We have Crisis, Smashed to Pieces. I'm always going to be biased towards Crisis. They were exciting live. I saw them once. I feel like I saw them a second time. But I may have only seen them the one time. I was like blown away by that performance. I was like, y'all just need to like get better at that. Just keep doing that. And they did like a little bit more, but I never saw them again. Yeah, it's female vocalist. She's really screaming her head off in some of this. So, hey, emo people, if y'all never heard Crisis, play that for emo people. See if they like it. Find an emo person and see if they know who Crisis is. I played that for women that were in their early 20s back when I knew women in their early 20s. I was already in my 30s and shit like that. I was like, hey, listen to this shit, you know? You like emo? Listen to this. Some of them liked it, dude, when that emo scene was around. As I got older, that whole generation of emo chicks, you know, they're like all in their 30s now. I still try to find them and like, oh, have you heard of this? Surprisingly, some emo chicks know who Crisis is. If you know emo chicks or goth chicks, Crisis. They're from New York. They got a song called Death Head Extermination, and that's the only one I remember. But I think it's Crisis, C-R-I-S-Y-S, or is it C-R-Y-S-I-S? They had to change it because there was another band with that name, so they changed it and they got to keep it. So that lead singer, she calls herself Karen Crisis. So look it up through that if you listen. This is their first album. It may even be a demo. But Death and Extermination is okay for what it's trying to do. Rats in a Maze, is that the third album? That one's actually pretty good. It was like the worst recording compared to their other recordings, but I think musically it was probably the better album. And they were on Metal Blade Records. But they're on Pessimer for their demos, or their first album. The song is called Smashed to Pieces. Yeah, they got a few rockin' melodies in there. And this is Eyehategod, Methamphetamine. Legend has it, they were taking the drugs they were talking about. And every album had a theme. Take is needed for pain. They were abusing pills when they wrote that one. Dope sick, they tried heroin and realized it's deadly, so they stopped taking heroin and it just felt like shit. And then they wrote that album. Legend has it. Do not know if that's true. Comment if you know that legend or have heard it or whatever. Eyehategod. Looking at Eyehategod, the song Methamphetamine. I love the band because I got to see them live all the time when I was in Houston. Eyehategod would just pour into a bar, drink, and they were already day drunk. And God knows what else they were putting in their systems. Because I'd seen these guys puke their guts up before going on stage. Like, they're just bleh. And you could tell it wasn't like they were partying. You could tell like they were like actually abusing themselves. It was so tragic and disgusting and just amazing. It was kind of a spectacle to see guys like just really intoxicated under various conditions. And you would literally see that live. And they would attempt to play their songs. Attempt to play their songs. There were times I saw Eyehategod. I never heard a single song. It was just the entire set of them attempting to make a song. Eyehategod was badass. I love how Pantera played with White Zombie and Eyehategod warmed up, the first band. And I walked in and Eyehategod was already playing. And I knew who they were. I'd seen them before. I knew what they were up to. And I walked in and heard that and was like, oh yeah. My friend of mine was like, oh yeah, I've heard them. You're not going to like them. And I'm like, oh, I have heard them and I love them. And it was just sonic abuse for that entire set, forcing people who paid $25, which was a lot at the time, $25 for a ticket to see, Pantera with White Zombie, actual White Zombie, with the entire band. Not the original drummer, though. it was that.
Derringer in each pocket.
Fuck, I'll think of that drummer they got. It's the drummer that Rob Zombie currently, or was using earlier when he became Rob Zombie.
A bigger gun, just in case.
Damn it, what was that drummer's name? He also drummed for Helmet. There's a...
It all depends how it came about.
Listen to Helmet, Crashing Foreign Cars, when the drummer of that is playing that song for you. That drummer that I can't remember his damn name. I like Helmet. I like that song Crashing Foreign Cars, mainly because of Need for Speed. But I also knew who Helmet was long before that, so they were no surprise to me. And then Need for Speed. So. Need for Speed 2. Comment down below. Need for Speed 2. Did you play that one?
And shot the shotgun, took his head off. He never saw the green light.
I'll tell you what an OGO was, dude. I had friends that had that game. How we played that game was in the car. He was like one of these guys that early on spent some money kitting out his car, and we would spend a lot of times in vehicles sometimes, you know, and play it via that. Yeah, that's back when some of us were ballers and did flashy shit. I had friends that admitted to buying flashy shit with dope money, with money they made selling drugs. It was like, they would always flash it like, dude, this is how much you can make selling drugs, look at that. Now, they wouldn't say it like that, but they would emphasize that, yeah, this much can be generated. If they were smart, that's kind of how they worded it. Selling drugs, never. I knew people that did it. I was around them. But, it was never my thing. My thing was always to sell other acquired items. Acquired through various means. That was always my game. None of that shit where cops look at you and it's like an immediate, like, gotta bust that guy. I always tried to be the guy that cops honestly didn't want to bust. They're like, yeah, he's a criminal, he's breaking the law, we should write him up for it, but, you know, he's such a fucking, he's so himself, like, just let him do his thing.
I'm telling you, there's nothing like a wedge of ethylene.
A few times I did get busted, it was usually because I broke some taboos or norms or something. Went a little overboard sometimes, proving a point. Yeah. Wait till you get hooked up for that. Have to go to jail for that shit. You just really want to prove a point, and you don't really care that the cops are involved. You're like, I'm not done with you.
What's the rest of the whole bit? Candles and what?
Well, they had like fruit, and you know they had.
I have no idea what track we're on.
My son saw a rabbit killed in half. He was forced to put his hand in one half of the rabbit, and he was told that if he told.
Oh, now we're on Meat Shits.
A bomb in my car, a bomb under my bed, and I'd be killed.
Meat Shits is like Mortician, but crust grind. Best way I can describe that. If you like Mortician, check out Meat Shits. They just as silly. I didn't mean that. Will Romer's not silly. Will Romer's a cool dude. I've met Will Romer. I saw a Mortician play Instant Karma in Houston, Texas on Westheimer, and there were 5 to 10 metalheads in the crowd. There was Mortician got double billed with some local band that was just their drinking group wanted to play that Sunday, and Mortician wanted to play, so they kind of just shared the bar. So this other band played during the day, and then Mortician played the evening. So I guess the bar figured, well, we'll have the day drinkers, and then they'll leave when the death metal guys show up. Well, as it turned out, a lot of death metal guys, there was 5 of us basically, and we all knew each other. So we were like, we called each other like, hey, you going to that? Hell yeah, we couldn't find anybody else going to that. So why is nobody fucking going to this? We should show up early. There's some other artist playing. We should show up and represent. And, you know, just let everybody know Mortician's about to play. Well, they ended up being really cool people. And their friends that were playing the rock and roll band weren't a horrible band. It was, like, tame by rock and roll standards, but, like, definitely something you could bob your head to while you were sitting there having a drink and chatting with somebody. You know, they could just be bobbing along and not being too in your face with the sound. It was like, damn, that band's actually not bad for being not bad. Almost like a jam band, but a little bit more rehearsed. So we were there trying to flex, and these people ended up being all really cool, and they thought we were cool, and then Will Romer and Roger showed up, and Roger didn't stay around, I guess he was sleeping or something, but Will hung out with us for part of that, because we're like, hey man, what's up? And he was like, oh, death metal guys are already here, well I'll hang out with y'all before I set up my merch. And, you know, they mentioned I set up the merch, we're just all hanging out, and then I think one of them commented, is like, anybody else coming tonight? And we were like, we were hoping so, but it looks like you get the same 5 guys you've had talking to you for the past hour. And Mortician went out and played their fucking set, and it was cool. They had the smoke machine, the drum machine, just him and Roger. So cool, because there was 5 of us in the fucking crowd. And State Carver, West Army, Houston, Texas, 1998. Made it on that year. Well, anyways, this is Meatsh. And Meatsh is like the hardcore crust grind equivalent of Mortician. That's what I was talking about. But that's my memory with Mortician. I had it hacked up for barbecue. And one of my friends had Zombie Apocalypse or Mortal Massacre. Maybe it was Zombie Apocalypse. I don't remember. But so we had between us like some of Mortician's stuff. So we all listened to it. Shit. Get in the car, put Mortician on. You know, show up to the place, be like, all right, cool. We got to see him, and it was just sad. There was like 5 people in there, you know. But it was a bullet in the bullet belt because we like got to hold that over people. Yeah, people like I don't want to name any names, that'd be wrong. But like people you think would have been there weren't there. People went to Cannibal. People went to Deicide. Hell, people that went to Crucifixion, Prophecy, and Devourment and Suffocation. Even those same people, not all of them were there. It was disappointing. It was dadgum disappointing. Here we are getting good crowds for some of these, like Deeds of Flesh. Eventually their shit blew up. Well, because they brought cool bands with them. That's always why Deeds of Flesh. So yeah. Yeah, I was back in the TXDM days, man. See the mighty Tish and Roger with Roger and Will. Anybody else see that set? Anybody see Mortician late 90s? Anybody see him post 90s? Comment down below. Oh shit, it's 23 minutes, y'all. Oh shit. Well, I'm gonna take off, y'all. It's Cattle Pride, Appalachian Warlord. See you next time, y'all. Later.